So I know I'm confusing you guys with the day that Top of the Blogs will be posted. Normally, Top of the Blogs is posted on Thursdays, but because Black Ink Chicago and um, um, Love and Hip Hop Miami come on Wednesday nights, that means that I have to do their video reviews on Thursday, and I can't do 3 videos in a day. It's just too much. Okay, so I had moved it to Fridays. All right, and then How to Get Away with Murder came back, so Fridays ended up having 2. But in this particular case today, because it is the end of the month, I would like to get the credit from this video on this month, which is going to end tomorrow. So that is why Top of the Blogs is now coming on today instead of Friday. But it will be on Fridays until Love and Hip Hop Miami and Black Ink Crew Chicago go off. Then we'll go back to Thursdays. But that's kind of why it's a jumble. So today is a special case, but after today it'll be on Fridays until it goes back to Thursdays. Okay, so we just had to make that clear. So with no more further ado, this is just a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blogs. So let's get to it. All right, rock stars. Well, I am happy to report that the shutdown was temporarily lifted. It actually happened as I was doing my video last week for Top of the Blogs. I didn't realize it, and then my comments, you guys told me that he had lifted the shutdown. Now, it's supposed to be temporarily. They're saying if we can't come to some sort of agreement on this border crisis in the next 16 days, then Trump is going to shut it down again. That's at least what he is threatening to do. When you ask all of the political pundits, they don't believe that he will be doing that. They say that your stupid ass president took quite a beating on the popularity charts, and you know that's all he really cares about. That the Republicans and Democrats alike do not want to pay for this wall. And even though he seemed to have dug in his heels, I guess the pressure was beginning to be too much, and he decided to temporarily, okay, but he does want to reserve the right, you know, to let you guys know that he can still put it back on, and he can, you know, so he's still threatening. But from what I understand, okay, when I have been watching the news, a lot of people said that he has lost quite a bit of leverage. I don't know if that matters to him. I even saw Ann Coulter on Bill Maher the other day, and she called him a wimp. I was just like, not the one that was off of Donald Trump as president. Okay, but she and quite a bit of his base are upset that he is not holding to his promise. So he is getting pressure from his base as well. You know, I don't really know what is going to happen with him. You know, I know that the shutdown caused a lot of havoc in the country. And like I said, I don't think anybody wants to go back, you know, visit those days, including y'all stupid ass president. But time will tell. We'll see. But a lot of people are laughing at him, shaking their finger at him like, Nancy Pelosi told you. We ain't letting up on this one. Then he thought he was about to do the damn State of the Union address. She was like, no, you're not. Slow your roll. You can't come and do no State of the Union in this house while we still in this shutdown. So now that the shutdown was lifted, he's going to be doing the State of the Union, I believe, on February 5th. I'm sure many of you will be tuning in to the shit show. I, as normal, will not be looking at that. I could care less. And then they're saying that Stacey Abrams, who you guys remember was running for governor here, lost by a very small margin. She is going to be doing the Democratic rebuttal. And I know a lot of people say that there's like a little bit of a curse on the person that does that Democratic rebuttal. But if anybody can handle it, I think Stacey Abrams can. She is definitely a very well-spoken. She expresses herself well. She's very smart. She knows how to connect to the people. So I believe that Stacey Abrams will do well. I will watch that. They're saying that the federal workers that were furloughed will be getting their back pay immediately. My furloughed federal worker rock stars out there, y'all let us know if that is happening. You know, that would be a great check, I would imagine. A month's worth of work. I'm hoping that you guys don't get taxed heavier because now you're making more money in a different tax bracket. You know, that would suck. I hope that they would just get their normal checks as normal and, you know, can move on with their lives. But I don't really know how that works. But At least from what I understand, people are getting their money. There was some hullabaloo about Hillary possibly running for president again. You know, I saw it when I was researching in Harper's Bazaar and Vanity Fair and Rolling Stones, and many of those type of magazine rags were contemplating the idea that maybe she would run again. Her ex-campaign manager, John Podesta, said absolutely not. Okay, she will not be running for president, and he called that quote-unquote media catnip. Okay, so no, I didn't think that Hillary was going to do it either. I think Hillary is so over everything that, you know, she's decided that she is going to stay away from that. Bernie Sanders is saying that he is seriously contemplating, though. He's seriously considering running. He just wants to make sure that he could beat Trump. He wants to make sure his family is in place. You know, it's a lot of stress on everybody's lives. You know, he just wants to make sure that he can be the one to beat him. I don't know if he can. He couldn't get in there last time. You know, I know that was just for the Democratic ticket, but, you know, I'm just like, we need something else. We need something else. And that something else hasn't made it yet. Right now, Kamala Harris is a big name that you hear. I keep on hearing about Cory Booker possibly. I guess folks are trying to see if Joe Biden is going to do it. I don't think Joe Biden is even going to do it. You know, Joe Biden is old. Like, he's in his retirement ages. You know, half of his family has passed away. It's time for the man to sit down somewhere and not try to, you know, and trying to save this country when it has been dug in so deep in the pits, in the mires of hell. It feels like sometimes. Like, I don't know if I was him, if I would be ready. And I'm sure he knows way more than we know. Okay, what he would be facing if he did do that. So, you know, I don't know if I can blame him if he hasn't put his name in the race yet. They're also saying Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz is thinking about running. And I'm so over the businessman running for president. You know, I don't like, what happened? I want a good old-fashioned politician. The ones who's well studied in the corruption. But, you know, it's just like, what is it with all of these other people that's deciding to... Oh, our government is so fucked up right now. Okay? But, yeah, he's also thinking about running. Because if he was able to turn Starbucks into what it is today, why can't he do the same for United States of America? That's it, you guys. Every week I'm forced to talk about these damn politics that I don't be wanting to talk about. But I did feel like it was a little bit of some reprieve, some, you know, a little bit of good news for the hundreds of thousands of workers who were not getting paid. So I had to say that. But yeah, everybody's getting their money, I think. And hopefully we won't go back down that road again. So my older rock stars will know the songs Just Once, 100 Ways, Yamo Be There, Baby Come to Me, Secret Garden. The list goes on and on of all of the beautiful songs that James Ingram either sang himself or was a part of as a duet or as a collaboration. My heart was broken when I found out that he died yesterday. Now, I didn't know he was sick, and I guess I wouldn't have known that. It wasn't like James Ingram had been out and about for us to know these things. So these things always hit you like a ton of rocks when you think that, man, people are just going to be here forever. And I mean, James Ingram is definitely a page out of my childhood. My brother, my oldest brother, Wayne, God rest his soul as well. He used to love Quincy Jones, the dude. That album got played. I know that album backwards and forwards. And I've been knowing it since I was like 10, 11 years old when it first came out. And James Ingram, his voice is so, just so... That is a voice that you will know no matter what. I was reading up on it and they said that he never really necessarily wanted to be a singer. He would write little demos and, you know, just for fun. And he never shopped anything around or was ever trying to get a producer or anything. He would do little gigs. I think he was singing backup for Marvin Gaye. and some other people. But Quincy Jones had come across, he had written Just Once just for himself, and Quincy Jones had come across it and wanted him to allow him to add it to his album, The Dude. Okay, so it wasn't like Quincy Jones already had him on his radar. He stumbled upon the man, and then he, you know, the rest is history. So that's like really his first official start, you know, with the music industry. Well, not the music industry, but just being on an album. He actually won a Grammy for that. Best R&B male performance, and he didn't even have an album. Then, like I said, he went on to be that voice, you know, that iconic voice that you would just hear in other songs. You know, you immediately knew it was James Ingram, and just loved him. You know, just added him to the list of singers that I just, you know, even today I had to listen to the not the soundtrack, but to the album to be reminded, like, damn, like I said, we are losing every day we are losing somebody. And it's just so sad. But I mean, I guess that's how life goes. Now, he was 66 years old. So to me, he was not old. All right. 66 is not old. But they said that he had been battling brain cancer for a long time. And yeah, he finally died yesterday from losing that battle. He leaves behind his spouse, Deborah Robinson, okay, his brother Henry Ingram, and 6 children with Deborah: Jasmine, Jash, Johnny, Jaya, and Jason. I feel like I'm missing a kid. But anyway, they said that he had 6 kids. But yeah, you guys, just so sad. But the beautiful thing is that his voice will live forever in the beautiful songs that he left behind. But just wanted to say rest in peace to James Ingram. Well, if you guys have social media, then you saw all day yesterday the terrible news that we got that Jussie Smollet had been attacked in Chicago. So evidently he was coming home from, I guess he lives in Chicago. He was coming home from New York. He had been Snapchatting or Instagram storying the delay that his flight was having. Remember, there's a lot of bad weather going on right now up that way. So his flight was delayed, but however, he had still made it onto Chicago that evening, late. Somewhere between 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, he decided to walk and get him a sandwich, they say, from Subway, you know, a Subway sandwich from somewhere. And then when he was coming out, now let me just be very clear that this is according to the New York Times, that I read this article, and this is what they're saying in the article, that he told the police. Okay, because I don't need nobody coming for me and saying, Roxanne, you making up shit and you flaming the story. According to the New York Times, they said that Jussie Smollet, when he walked out of the restaurant, he was confronted by 2 men. They were wearing MAGA hats, okay, Make America Great Again hats, that they yelled out. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Let me back up. They didn't say anything about the hats. They said that they were expressing, okay, that this is MAGA country. Somewhere along the story, it's turned out that they're saying that they were wearing MAGA hats, but that's not really what it said in this article that I read. But anyway, the guy supposedly yelled out, you know, this is MAGA country. They were saying homophobic slurs, racial slurs at him. They beat him up. They tied a noose around his neck, and they poured an unknown chemical on him. Again, the story has evolved to now say that there was bleach thrown on him, that there were ribs broken. None of that is in the story that I read. The story that I read said that he went to his apartment. His manager called the police. They went to the hospital. He was treated for lacerations and bruises. You know, he had been beaten up, his face and neck. Didn't mention anything about the ribs, so I don't know where that part came from, and that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not true, but it wasn't in the article that I read, and that he went on home. So, a terrible story. This is exactly why. I mean, you shouldn't even, it shouldn't even matter, but as the mother in me is just like, see, this is why I'd be telling my kids all the time, like, you get your ass home and get in the house. You know, I'll talk to Joe, or I'll see on his Instagram, you know, that he's out at 12 and 1 o'clock going to get something to eat, and it's just like, it's too bad that you have to be this way, that you have to be extra cautious, that you can't be safe in your neighborhood and go somewhere. Okay, they said that the area that, you know, that he was in, I'm sure was considered safe, but it's motherfuckers out there who is out to do you no good. There's people out there who will beat you up because you are black. Jussie Smollet is gay, and that's a double whammy on him. They said that the police are investigating because just the week before, there was a letter sent to the Fox Studios threatening him and with some white powdery substance in there. So now they're wondering if this person had their eye on him and have been watching him. Like, I don't know if the two stories are related. I mean, it sounds very coincidental, but yeah, just terrible. Just terrible. They're going to be observing all of the cameras because of the area where it supposedly happened or allegedly happened is, you know, highly populated, and they expect there's going to be a lot of cameras around there. But so far they haven't been able to see the two guys that Jussie has said were, you know, the ones that did it. But I hope they catch these people, and just craziness. You know, I just be so worried about the world that we live in today. You don't want to be all Debbie Downer and be like, you're not safe nowhere. Okay, we can't let them win like that. But I was talking to my friend the other day, and we were just talking about how we were back in the day. She was like, thought maybe we were more cautious. But I was like, I don't think that we were more cautious. Like, I don't remember being like, let me make sure my doors is locked and let me make sure I'm this and I'm that. You know, I just went on about my life. I felt like the days that I was in my teens and early 20s, that it was safer back then. Okay? And I was in way different neighborhood than where Jussie was. You know, it's just so much hate now. They're saying that the hate crimes have risen from 2016 to 2017. I was like, you don't say. I wonder why. They said that they were up 17%, I believe they said. And out of those 17%, 60% of those were racially motivated hate crimes. And 17% of that 17% were sexually, were because of sexual orientation. I felt so bad because I was just like, Jussie just don't seem like he messes with nobody. And, you know, for you to be out minding your own damn business and get beat up by two racist motherfuckers and, you know, just terrible. So I hope they catch the guys. Nobody deserves this kind of treatment. I don't know what is going to happen to, you know, these people that are starting to come out from the, you know, they have been emboldened that now they feel that they can be, you know, they can be more out with their racism. They are so easily out. It's a shame. It's a shame. But yeah, I know Jussie ain't watching this, but I still would like to say, you know, keep your head up, Jussie. You know, prayers up for him, his family. You know, I'm sure that they are all probably worried about the boy. And like I said, I hope the people that did this are brought to justice. We get any more news on the story, I will definitely bring it to you guys. All right, you guys. So D.L. Hughley was on Vlad TV not too long ago, and he was in an interview, and I believe they were talking about the Me Too movement, and, you know, he's been very vocal about things like that. Terry Crews' name came up, and D.L. Hughley, you know, joked and said that with them big-ass muscles that he had, he couldn't believe that, you know, he wasn't able to get that man off of him. I'm paraphrasing. But that was the gist of what he was saying. Well, of course, Terry Crews found out about that and was upset. Okay, he went on to tweet D.L. Hughley like, you know what, I really used to love D.L. Hughley, thought he was one of the funniest stand-up comedians around, but, you know, now he's not too sure. He's tired of men like D.L. Hughley and Russell Simmons and Tariq Nasheed, you know, making fun of him, you know, implying like, are you implying that I wanted to be sexually assaulted? He feels like the Russell Simmons and the 50 Cents and D.L. Hughley's, you know, that they mock survivors instead of, you know, giving it to the people who do this to them in the first place. Now, you know, Russell Simmons, he did speak up real quickly and apologize. Like, you know what, at the time, I thought I was giving you the best advice. Okay, now I realize that that advice was not right. Okay, I wasn't trying to silence you. And, you know, you keep on fighting the good fight, you know, continue to be a leader in this cause. So Russell don't want no smoke because it's been quiet for Russell. Ever since they settled on that last case that he had, we ain't heard too too much more about Russell. And Russell's like, fuck, don't pull me in no more of that shit. But you know, D.L. Hughley is not one to back down from what he felt. And so D.L. Hughley was like, oh, so you saw the interview. And Terry says, yeah, and you know, you act like I didn't try to fight him off or push him off of me, and you know, that I didn't try to stop it. Now, when I originally heard the story, I have to say that I never heard anything about Terry Crews resisting. I heard that Terry Crews realized that this was not the time and the place for him to be putting a motherfucker in their place, and that him and his wife just left. That's the story that I remember. Now he's saying that he did do all of those things. It don't really matter, okay? But I'm just saying. There's some differences in the story right now. DL was like, well, that ain't nothing like, you know, slapping the shit out of a motherfucker, okay? And Tariq was like, he needs to have that same energy with the man that assaulted him than, you know, him fussing at everybody for not. My whole thing is this, you guys. It's unfortunate that Terry Crews experienced what he did. Terry is not going to change anybody's mind about how they feel about this situation. We heard about the story. We found out what happened. He decided to press charges. They settled out of court. The guy did get in trouble for what he did, and that is it. There are always going to be people who believe that he should have reacted a certain way, that he was lesser than a man because he didn't react a certain way. There's some people that are going to support him. There are some people that are not. You can't go fighting everybody that doesn't see it the same way as you. Now, I know that it hurts him that he don't get the support from black men, like he says that black women have supported him, you know, throughout this. And again, that's unfortunate, but it's just like, you know, what more do you want to happen here? You can't control these other people. So I guess it's frustrating for him, and I get that. But it's just like, I feel like he'd be spinning his wheels all the time with that. You know, I don't know. Does that sound like me saying that he needs to just get over it? Because, I mean, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm just thinking to myself, like, well, what do you want to happen next? So I don't know. But arguing with a comedian is ineffective to me and not going to get him where he wants to be. Terry seems to be doing well. He's on, what's that show that he's on? You know, he's working and he hasn't been blackballed and blacklisted out of Hollywood. And so, you know, he's going to be okay. You know, but what y'all think about all of that? What's your opinions on it? Do you believe that Terry is just super sensitive, or does he have every right to feel the way that he feels? Leave the comments below. Y'all, I don't know what happened. We still best friends, and you know, we okay. We just breaking up. What a difference a day makes. But Tisha Campbell and Duane Martin, they are having some bad times in this divorce. Now, we already knew that they was having problems. You know, she was saying that he was hiding money and, you know, hiding clothes and had all these private investments that she knew nothing about. And, you know, he was hiding everything from her. Now we find out that she's gotten a restraining order, saying that her soon-to-be ex-husband, okay, of over 20 years, they have kids together and everything. She said that he had punched her in the chest recently and that he had grabbed her by the arm and was trying to pull her back into the bedroom. Now, you know, they didn't say if there was any sexual, you know, I don't know if that was something because it was sexually trying to get to this bedroom, or if it was more so that they were fighting, they were arguing, and he was trying to pull her back into the bedroom so that they could, you know, argue in private. But she's saying that he's been physically abusive towards her since the beginning of their marriage in 1996, and that, you know, she had been afraid of bringing it up and embarrassed by what people would think about her and him. You know, she said that now she can't be a slave to that anymore. She can't be worried. She can't be afraid of any retaliation from him. So she's putting it out there. She's saying that he beat her up, and she wanted a restraining order, and it was granted. As much as we hear from her, we don't hear from him at all. Like, I don't hear no quotes from him. I ain't seen him on no blog. I ain't seen nobody catch him walking down the street. Like, he is undercover. So that divorce is about to get messy, or messier, I should say. I don't know. It's too bad though. But child, it's something that you see. This is what I mean about, when you see couples and you have absolutely no idea what is going on behind closed doors. Don't let people who you have no idea what's going on in their household be your marital goals. Okay, look at your mom and your daddy if they still together, your auntie, your uncle, people that you actually have contact with. Those are the ones that you should be modeling, if it is good. We'll see what happens with them, child. I say punch her in the chest. Duane, you out there wilding like that? If he cutting up like that, then she do need to go. All right, you guys. So this story. All right, B. Smith. Okay, Barbara Smith. We all know and love B. Smith. She's been married for years and years and years to her husband, Dan Gasby. And he has made the commitment to take care of B. Smith until she dies, as she suffers from the deadly Alzheimer's disease. It is a degenerative disease. She is going to die from it. She's had it since 2013. He's made the commitment to take care of her until then, him and her and their daughter together. Last month, he announced via social media that he's in a relationship with another woman. Okay, 53-year-old Alex Lerner. And he's in this relationship with this woman while he's still caring for B. Smith. Needless to say, many B. Smith fans are pissed. You are still legally married to this woman and you have moved this other woman in. What I will say is this. I have known some people who have died from Alzheimer's disease. Some close people in my family, some friends of my family that have died from this disease. And I can tell you that Alzheimer's completely ravages a person's brain and completely removes that person from that body. As the disease goes on and on and on, the person that you knew and loved at the onset is no longer that person when they are towards the end. Now, she's been having it since 2013. It's been 6 years. I can imagine where they are in her disease. And it is extremely difficult on the caretaker. A lot of people cannot even take care of folks with Alzheimer's. They require 24/7 attention. They wander. They can be gone. I can remember my grandmother who had it, my father's mother, she was missing for days. We just knew that she was dead. She had walked out of her house and was gone. My dad was losing his mind. Every morning, my mom and I would get up in the morning before she dropped me off at school, and we would drive around in the neighborhoods just trying to see if we found her. She was gone for like 6 days, and they finally found her. And that was the time that my dad realized that he was going to have to put her in a nursing home, which almost broke my dad's heart. But anyway, let me get back on track. It's very hard for people to take care of somebody with Alzheimer's. It wears on everyone. Now, do I see anything wrong with this man moving on with his life and possibly finding love in another woman when his wife is so clearly not the person that he fell in love with? Him and B very well could have had a conversation at the beginning of her disease where she knew that it was going to get worse and, she wanted him to move on with his life. Okay, they could have had that conversation. The problem that I have with this situation is, if you have decided to move on with your life, why do you have to do so publicly? Now, you know that your wife B. Smith was a famous person, that she has fans out there, that social media, doesn't always take into account and consideration all of the variables that goes into what is going on in your life. And then for you to put it on social media and say shit like, hate it or love it, you can debate me, but I'm feeling great. Okay, when we know that your wife is suffering. Now, they say she can't talk, she can't do anything for herself. I mean, she's probably, I hate to say it, but probably in the ending stages of this disease. So I don't understand why you have to go out. It's almost like you are smushing everybody's face in the fact that, yeah, I can't let her hold back my life. I love her and everything, but I still got to get, like, you couldn't just do all that privately. I mean, obviously, Your daughter is there and she's fine with it. Okay, you're going to be in a relationship with this woman. She wants to be there. You want her to be there. We could have did all of that and you ain't had to say nothing to nobody, and you could have, let your wife die. I don't like to say these things because she hasn't passed, but you know what I'm saying? Like, let this woman be your wife until she dies. And then you could very easily say, you know what, I got this woman, we here, we happy, everything is good. Don't nobody want to see no fucking pictures of you and her smiling on social media. Like, they're like, what is wrong with like common sense of people? When you know that it's not going to be perceived or received well, you still go out and do some stupid shit by like just putting it out there. Okay, and just saying like, yeah, hate it or love it, like 50 Cent say. No, nobody want to hear that shit. Go on over there, take care of your wife, if that's a commitment that you've made, and be with your woman, if that's what you did. But all this, she in the house, and, you ain't, don't nobody need to know that. So that's the frustrating part that I have with it, because it's almost like disrespectful for it to seem like you are braggadocious or flaunting it, or throwing it in people's faces. People are hurt. They fans of B. Smith, and they didn't want to see her be disrespected in this way. So that's the problem that I have with it. But as far as him moving on with his life, yeah, I mean, it happens. And unless you were unless you've been in an experience with a person with Alzheimer's and you see how it is, then it would be hard for you to understand. So, I mean, I got that. So people, they say, oh no, Roxanne, you wrong. You married till death do you part. Yeah, I mean, I got all that as well. But it happens. So I just wish that he just would go away. Just take care of your wife, be with your woman, you and your daughter, and you got, and even your woman possibly helping and whatnot. I didn't need to see that shit on social media. People don't have no damn good common sense. Okay? Can't even buy that shit no more. And then lastly, you guys, the Super Bowl. It's this weekend. And I just wanted to have a conversation with the black delegation. Because, I'm a little confused on how to proceed. Okay, as per the last email that went out, I thought that we was boycotting an NFL because of Colin Kaepernick. Okay, and that I done did plenty little stories about, people not wanting to perform in the Super Bowl, and, folks canceling other folks for performing in the Super Bowl, and, all of this. But when I think that, now I don't watch football, so it don't matter to me. But when I thought y'all was saying that y'all was boycotting, I thought that meant anything NFL related. Okay, but evidently that ain't the case, because the Super Bowl is happening out here in Atlanta, and it is a big deal out here. There's parties every week. I'm getting text messages from unknown places every day about come here to the Atrium Lounge, and come here to Opera, and come here to this, and come here to, the big experience, Super Bowl experience down there at the arena. All this going on. And I thought y'all niggas told us that we wasn't supposed to be doing this. So that's why I'm just like, black delegation, I'm gonna need some direction. All right? You not at the Super Bowl performing, but you performing all week. Now, I know that money don't go towards the Super Bowl necessarily, but I mean, what about the commercials? Cardi said she wasn't gonna be at the Super Bowl, but she in the Super Bowl commercial. But I guess you could say because it's Pepsi, it's not necessarily. And so I'm just confused. I'm just a little confused. Y'all let me know what y'all doing on this one, and then once y'all get clarification, y'all just let a sister know. But yeah, the Super Bowl is definitely this weekend, Sunday. The LA Rams are going there. They will be facing off with the Patriots. Okay, and I hear that it's a well looked forward to game. Okay, I guess these two had met way back at the beginning of Tom Brady's career at the Super Bowl, and I guess they lost to them then. I guess that was when the Rams was St. Louis or San Diego or something. Where were they before? See, I don't even know that, but I done heard little stories throughout the week. But if you guys are watching the Super Bowl, and I believe most people are watching the Super Bowl, okay, y'all let me know who you going for. I guess because of it being an LA team, I would like for the Rams to win, but we'll see. Y'all let me know who you going for, though. Do we think that the Patriots will take it, or We're going to give it to the LA Rams. All right, you guys, that's it. Let me get off of here. I'm at Panda, about to give me some Chinese food and then take it on back to work. We do this every single week, so make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back. Until next time, rock stars. Bye.